The best ways to keep your skin young after 70. Getting older is a privilege. But if there is one thing I have learned over the years, it is that taking care of your skin is not just about vanity. It is about feeling good in your own body. When you reach 70, you realize that your skin tells the story of your life. Every laugh, every tear, every long night and sunny afternoon. The way you care for it now will decide how comfortably you live in it for the years to come. I have seen too many people give up on their skin. They say it is too late. That aging is inevitable. That wrinkles and dryness are just part of the process. But I am here to tell you that while you cannot stop time, you can choose how you age. You can take control. You can care for yourself in ways that make your skin feel alive again. I know what it is like to wake up and feel like your skin is thinner than it used to be. The way it feels tight after washing. The way it seems to sag in places that once felt firm. The way the spots and lines seem to multiply overnight. I have been there. But I also know that giving up is the worst thing you can do. Your skin is like a garden. If you stop watering it, if you stop tending to it, it will dry up. But if you give it what it needs, it will reward you with softness, strength, vitality, and you will look in the mirror and see someone who still glows. The first thing I tell anyone who asks me how to keep their skin young after 70 is this. Hydration is everything. I am not just talking about slapping on some lotion and calling it a day. Your skin needs moisture from the inside and the outside. Drink water even when you do not feel thirsty. Your skin cells rely on it to stay plump and healthy. And when it comes to moisturizing, do not just rub something on quickly and move on. Take your time. Let your skin absorb it. And do not just use any product. Look for simple ingredients that truly nourish. Oils like jojoba and almond. Creams that have ceramides. Your skin is not what it used to be. It does not hold moisture the way it did when you were young. You have to help it. I remember a time when I thought washing my face with soap and water was enough. That was before I understood how much the wrong products strip the skin. Now, I use a gentle cleanser that does not make my face feel tight afterward. And I pat my skin dry instead of rubbing it. Little things like that make a big difference. Then there is the sun. When you are young, you think of sun protection as something you do when you are at the beach. But after 70, the sun is one of your biggest enemies. It dries out your skin. It makes age spots darker. It breaks down the collagen that keeps your face firm. You need to wear sunscreen every single day, even if you are just sitting by a window. I have seen too many people ignore this, only to wonder why their skin looks 10 years older than they feel. Diet is another thing that most people overlook. What you eat shows up on your skin. If you fill your body with processed food, sugar, and too much alcohol, it will show. But if you eat fresh vegetables, healthy fats, and protein, your skin will reflect that. Foods like salmon, avocados, nuts, and berries give your skin the nutrients it needs to repair and stay strong. I have lived long enough to see what a lifetime of poor eating does to a person's face. And I have also seen how someone can turn things around just by changing what they put on their plate. One mistake I made in my younger years was thinking skincare was just about what I put on my face. I wish I had understood the importance of movement. Blood flow brings oxygen and nutrients to the skin. When you move, you help your body nourish your skin from the inside. Walking, stretching, anything that keeps the circulation going. If you sit all day, your skin will look as tired as you feel. Sleep is another thing people underestimate. I spent years staying up too late, waking up feeling exhausted, and my skin paid the price. Sleep is when your body repairs itself. If you do not get enough, your skin does not have time to heal. You wake up looking older than you should. But when you sleep well, your skin thanks you. It looks brighter, less puffy, more alive. Stress is something you can feel in your skin. I used to carry my worries on my face. Frowning, clenching my jaw, holding tension in my forehead. And over time, those expressions became permanent lines. Learning to relax, to let things go, to breathe deeply and take life as it comes. That made a bigger difference than any expensive cream ever could. One thing that surprised me as I got older was how much touch matters. Massaging your skin, even for just a few minutes a day, makes a real difference. It gets the blood flowing. It helps products absorb better, and it makes your skin feel alive again. I take a little oil and warm it between my hands. Then I gently press and smooth it into my skin. It is a small thing, but it has kept my skin looking and feeling better than I ever expected at this age. People often ask if it is too late to start. They think that because they are 70 or older, there is no point. But I have seen people in their 80s transform their skin just by making a few changes. It is never too late. Your skin is still alive. It is still working for you. But you have to work for it too. I am not saying you will erase every wrinkle. And I am not saying you will look 20 years younger overnight. But what I am saying is that you can make your skin the best version of what it is right now. You can wake up and feel good in your own skin. You can look in the mirror and see someone who has taken care of themselves. Someone who still shines. So do not give up. Do not think it is too late. Your skin is asking for care. Give it water. Give it nourishment. Protect it from the sun. Move your body. Sleep well. Let go of stress. And take a moment every day to give it the attention it deserves. I have lived long enough to know that the way you treat your skin is the way you treat yourself. And you deserve to be treated well. Now, let's clear some common questions. What are the psychological effects of aging on skincare, and how can one shift their mindset to embrace beauty at every stage? I remember the first time I noticed my skin was not the same. The fine lines around my eyes stayed longer than they used to. The skin on my hands felt thinner. I looked in the mirror and saw someone I did not recognize at first. It is a strange feeling. The mind feels young, but the skin tells another story. I struggled with it. I wondered if I should fight it, hide it, try to bring back the skin of my younger years. But then I realized something. The real issue was not my skin. It was my mind. It was the way I had been taught to believe that youth was the only time I was allowed to feel beautiful. That smooth skin was the only skin worth admiring. I had to unlearn that way of thinking. I had to shift my mindset. Because if I did not, I would spend the rest of my life chasing something I could never get back instead of appreciating what I had right in front of me. The first step was acceptance. Not the kind of acceptance that feels like giving up, but the kind that feels like freedom. Accepting that my skin is a reflection of my journey. That every line tells a story. That beauty is not just about looking young, but about looking alive. Looking like someone who has truly lived. The second step was changing my relationship with skincare. When I was younger, I saw skincare as a way to fix things. To prevent wrinkles. To fight against aging. But as I grew older, I realized that skincare is not about fighting. It is about caring. About honoring the skin that has carried me through every season of my life. I stopped using products that promised to erase the past and started using ones that made my skin feel good in the present. I started enjoying the process of taking care of myself. Feeling the warmth of my hands as I massaged in a nourishing oil. Taking a moment to appreciate the softness of my skin instead of searching for flaws. Skincare became an act of love instead of an act of fear. Another shift that changed everything was how I spoke to myself. I used to look in the mirror and focus on everything that had changed. The lines. The spots. The way gravity had taken over. But then I realized how unfair that was. I never looked at a tree in autumn and thought it was less beautiful than it was in spring. I never looked at an old book and thought it had lost its value because the pages were worn. So why was I treating myself that way? I started looking in the mirror with a new perspective. Instead of criticizing, I started appreciating. Instead of longing for the past, I started embracing the present. And little by little, the way I felt about myself began to change. I also learned to stop comparing myself to younger people. It is easy to look at someone with smooth skin and think they have something better. But youth is not better. It is just different. I have something that youth does not have. I have wisdom. I have depth. I have a face that tells a story, and that is something no cream or treatment can create. Once I stopped wishing to look like someone else and started valuing what I had, I felt lighter, happier, more confident in my own skin. Another powerful shift was focusing on what makes me feel alive. Beauty is not just about skin. It is about the way you carry yourself, the way you smile, the way you light up when you talk about something you love. I started paying attention to what made me feel good. Walking outside and letting the sun warm my face. Eating foods that made my body feel strong. Laughing without worrying about laugh lines. Dressing in colors that made me feel vibrant. When you focus on feeling good, you automatically look better. Because true beauty is not about looking young. It is about looking full of life. I also stopped listening to the noise. Society has a way of making older people feel invisible. As if beauty has an expiration date. As if once you reach a certain age, you are supposed to fade into the background. I refuse to accept that. I refuse to shrink myself just because the world does not always celebrate aging. I am here. I am alive. And I deserve to take up space. So I wear the colors I love. I take care of myself not because I want to look younger, but because I respect my body. I let myself be seen. Because aging is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be proud of. The most important lesson I have learned is that beauty is not in the past. It is right now. It is in the way I care for myself. The way I choose to see myself. The way I allow myself to be present in the life I have been given. No matter what age I am, I will always have the power to decide how I feel about myself. And I choose to feel beautiful. Not because my skin is perfect, but because my spirit is alive. Because my heart is open. Because I refuse to let a number define my worth. How do different cultural and generational perspectives on aging affect the way we care for our skin, and what wisdom can we take from them? In many Western cultures, aging has often been seen as something to resist. Something to hide. There is a deep fear of looking older, as if youth is the only time a person can be beautiful. I have watched people spend fortunes on creams, treatments, even surgeries just to hold on to the appearance of youth. Some will do anything to erase wrinkles, to tighten skin, to chase the illusion that time has not touched them. I understand why. The world constantly shows images of beauty that are tied to being young. Advertisements promise ways to reverse aging, as if it is a mistake that needs to be corrected. When people around you believe that looking young is the only way to be seen as valuable, it is hard not to feel pressure to fight against time. But then I look at cultures where aging is embraced with pride, and I see something different. In many Asian traditions, for example, older people are respected. Their wisdom is honored. Their presence is cherished. In places like Japan, aging is not seen as a loss but as a natural part of life that carries beauty of its own. Skincare is not about reversing time but about caring for the skin in a way that keeps it healthy and strong for as long as possible. It is about balance, hydration, protection, gentle care. It is not about fighting age but about working with it. I have learned a lot from that approach. It is not about trying to look younger. It is about treating your skin with kindness so that it remains vibrant at every stage of life. In some indigenous cultures, aging is a sign of wisdom and power. Wrinkles are not something to be ashamed of. They are seen as proof of experience. Proof of a life well lived. I once met an elder who told me that every line on her face was a memory. A story. A moment she would never trade for smooth skin. That stayed with me. Because in the end, what is more beautiful? A face without lines, or a face that holds the history of a person who has truly lived? Different generations also see aging in very different ways. My parents' generation saw it as something natural, something you did not complain about. They accepted it because there was no other choice. They used simple skincare. Soap, water, a bit of cream. They did not have shelves full of products promising to turn back time. They aged as they lived. Naturally. Without apology. Then came my generation, where everything changed. Science started promising ways to slow down the signs of aging. More products. More treatments. More options. Some embraced it. Some ignored it. Some struggled between wanting to age with grace and wanting to hold on to youth just a little longer. And now I see the younger generations, who have more knowledge than ever before about skincare. They start young. Sunscreen. Serums. Prevention. They do not wait for wrinkles to appear. They try to keep them from forming at all. They have learned from the past, and in many ways, they are doing things right. But I also see something else. A fear of aging that starts even earlier. A belief that any sign of age is something to fix. And I wonder if they will ever get to enjoy the freedom of just letting time do what it will. What wisdom can we take from all of this? First, that there is no one right way to age. Every culture, every generation, has its own way of seeing beauty. But the most important thing I have learned is that true beauty does not come from chasing youth. It comes from taking care of what you have, not because you are afraid of aging, but because you respect yourself. It comes from learning to see the beauty in the changes instead of fearing them. If someone has never paid much attention to skincare before 70, is it ever too late to start? And what is the most important first step? It is never too late to start taking care of your skin. I have heard many people say, "What is the point now? I have gone 70 years without a skincare routine. Why bother?" But let me tell you something from experience. Your skin is not just about looking good. It is about feeling good. It is about respecting the body that has carried you through all these years. It is about showing yourself the kind of care you may have given to others, but never thought to give to yourself. If you have never paid much attention to your skin before, do not see that as a reason to give up. See it as a reason to start now. Because the way you care for yourself today will determine how you feel tomorrow. And feeling good in your own skin is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. I did not always understand this myself. I grew up in a time when skincare was not something men talked about. Even for women, it was simple. A bit of soap, a bit of cold cream, and that was that. No one thought much about it. Wrinkles came, skin sagged, and that was just life. But then, as the years went by, I started noticing the difference between those who cared for their skin and those who did not. I met people in their 80s who had skin that still glowed with health, not because they were trying to look young, but because they had kept their skin strong and nourished. I started to wonder if I had missed something. I remember the moment I decided to change. I was 72 years old, looking in the mirror one morning, and my skin felt rough. It looked tired. It looked like I had not been kind to it. And the truth is, I had not. I had spent years in the sun without thinking about protection. I had not bothered with hydration. I had simply assumed that skincare was something for other people. That morning, I decided I wanted to feel better. Not to erase the past, but to make sure that my future years felt as good as they could. The most important first step is not buying expensive creams or chasing miracles. It is something much simpler. It is making the decision to care. That is the hardest part. Once you decide that your skin is worth taking care of, the rest follows. Start small. The skin at 70 or older does not need complicated routines. It needs hydration. It needs nourishment. It needs gentle care. If you have never done anything for your skin before, start with something as simple as a good, gentle cleanser and a rich, moisturizing cream. Do not think about reversing wrinkles. Do not worry about turning back time. Think about how your skin feels. Does it feel dry? Does it feel rough? If so, give it what it needs. One of the best things I ever did for my skin was learning to hydrate properly. People think of hydration as something external, but it starts from within. Drinking enough water makes more difference than any cream you can buy. And when it comes to the skin itself, a good moisturizer does not have to be expensive. It just has to be something that keeps your skin soft and protected. I started with something simple, applying it morning and night, and within weeks I could feel the difference. My skin no longer felt tight and rough. It felt comfortable. That alone made me realize how much I had been neglecting myself. Another thing I learned was the power of protection. Many people think, I am old now. What does it matter if I spend time in the sun? But protecting your skin is not just about preventing wrinkles. It is about keeping your skin healthy. At our age, the skin becomes thinner, more fragile, more prone to damage. A little bit of sunscreen or wearing a hat when you go outside is not about vanity. It is about making sure your skin stays strong. It is also important to be gentle. I spent years washing my face with whatever soap was around, scrubbing hard as if my skin were a dirty plate that needed to be cleaned. But aging skin is delicate. It needs kindness. I switched to a simple, mild cleanser, and I treated my skin with the same care I would give to something precious. Because it is. Our skin has carried us through life. It has been with us through every laugh, every tear, every moment of sunshine and storm. It deserves to be treated with respect. For anyone who has never thought about skincare before 70, the best advice I can give is to start simple and be consistent. Do not expect overnight results. Do not look for miracles. Just take small steps every day. A bit of hydration. A bit of nourishment. A bit of protection. Over time, you will feel the difference. You will look in the mirror and see not just age but care. Not just lines but a face that is being treated with love. And perhaps most importantly, do not let anyone tell you that it is too late. I have seen people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s start taking care of their skin and feel better than they ever have. Because skincare is not just about appearances. It is about how you feel in your own body. It is about taking control of your well-being, no matter what age you are. It is never too late to show yourself the care you deserve. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel, so until next time, take care.